Hi there, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm here at Cape Town, the Vineyard Hotel, at the Africa Bioinformatics Institute for the annual general meeting. And over here, I have one of our participants with us. So tell us about yourself, sir.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Abel Abera Negash. I'm a senior researcher and currently head of the Genomics and Bioinformatics division at the Armauer Hansen Research Institute in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So I'm here to participate in the annual general meeting of the African Bioinformatics Institute, a new and exciting initiative.
Okay, so sort of tell us about your institution. What type of research, pathogen surveillance you do? What type of challenges do you have? Is hardware or software, things like that?
Okay. So we primarily, our current work is primarily focused on pathogens, different ranges of pathogens, ranging from mycobacterium to tuberculosis. So our institute was initially established to do research on Mycobacterium leprae, and then it moved on to Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and that was the first pathogen that we actually sequenced at our institution.
Okay.
And then beyond that, so we have been able to sequence different viruses, HIV, HPV, and other viruses, and bacteria, Streptococcus pneumoniae, and other gram-negative and antimicrobe-resistant bacteria. We are now we have acquired new sequencers, and we're planning to move to beyond pathogen sequencing to human genome sequencing, and we look forward to that. So in terms of challenge, of course, there are two aspects in genomics and bioinformatics. So the wet lab side and sequencing.
Yes.
As long as you're able to acquire sequencers, and as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, I think many institutions have been able to do that.
Yes, sir.
So you can really train researchers and junior research assistants in the wet lab quite easily. So you can do the sequencing. But what becomes difficult and challenging is the bioinformatics analysis.
Right.
Which requires a lot of training and focused training. So you can have short-term trainings to begin with, but kind of long-term training and mentorship and being involved in actual research and support is very important. And the other aspect of bioinformatics is also infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
So infrastructure for data storage and analysis. So a server infrastructure, which is quite challenging. So we do have a server HPC in our institution, but the challenge that we have is server management, for example, is a problem. So we have only very few people. No one is trained in server management, so it becomes difficult to have that space shared among a number of. There is a kind of a large need, and to share that among that group. And then coming back to the bioinformatics aspect, again, scales number of people that are trained in bioinformatics. Many are interested, but only few can really go all the way to have the training, and most of the people that we have are usually self-trained, but we try to create opportunities for training for them and so on. We also have a training facility which can host up to 50 trainees. So we usually have training, basic bioinformatics training, and also advanced bioinformatics trainings in collaboration with our other institutions within and outside Africa.
Right. So, I mean, as you mentioned, currently you do a lot of viral and bacterial surveillance, and once the wet lab is done, you extracted the DNA, extracted the RNA. The downstream analysis is a challenge because now you have different technology. Next flow, there's Conda. You need to write scripts, which is very computational, and a lot of scientists, they're very competent in the wet lab side. But now when you're dealing with software and coding, people really struggle with that aspect. And as you highlighted, in Ethiopia you have facilities to actually give hands-on training, give support to upcoming scientists, young minds of the future, these important skill sets. but on the other hand, there are, these restrictions. There's hardware challenges. You need a really good computer that can have enough RAM space to run these big data. And when you have samples, they're also big files that you need to store and run them, which takes a lot of computational spec and time. And then in that aspect, is there any support for people, whether it's after workshop training or hardware support? Is there some mentorship program that's sustainable and long term for them?
Our research institute we kind of host students,
Yes.
postgraduate students, and that's where actually much of our work is done through students. They get trained. We facilitate emission sequencing for them, and also support them in bioinformatics analysis. But what I would say is, it's something we have bioinformaticians.
Yes.
But the skill set is kind of limited.
Okay.
So we can't help them with some level of analysis. In a sense, so they have analysis to publish, but in bioinformatics you have, considering the current trend and the level of which bioinformatics analysis is reaching that. So we also need to train those trainers to send them for more advanced training.
Right.
And we try to do that through collaborations. For example, with the University of Cape Town,
Yes.
where one of our bioinformaticians is now enrolled in a PhD program. So, and that will give her she will actually work on human genomics. So that will add additional dimension beyond pathogen genomics.
Right.
When she does that, so we try to use those kinds of opportunities, and I think much of the focus has been on short-term training, but I think we need to build capacity on co-mentorship and long-term trainings.
Yes.
So that we can have really robust skill sets that will be long-lasting, and then that could then be transferred to others.
Right. So I think you highlight some really important point. We need long-term sustainable training, and you need to ensure that once this trainer has received advanced training, they can take this knowledge back to their own institution and start disseminating this knowledge and information to the next generation of scientists. And you are here now for the ABI. What do you see the role of this structure, and what are you hoping to sort of gain?
I think ABI is a very good initiative. Science and research is all about networking and interaction and collaboration.
Yeah.
So I think it will create that kind of environment whereby there are many people in different countries with different levels of expertise.
Yes, sir.
That are gained from within Africa or outside Africa. And then we can now make use of that potential in different people, different skill sets, and bring them together through collaboration, and then build a community. And in that way, then we can increase the bioinformatics
Right.
skill set and capacity in Africa.
Right. And then obviously the ABI is hoping to set up a foundation, not only in regions of Africa, but across the African continent in terms of supporting the next generation of scientists. So as we come to the end of this conversation, I really want to acknowledge the work that you've done and the support that you've done for the next generation. So two last questions. First question, any word of advice, for someone who's, doing computer science, who's coming out of, university, if they want to go into the field of science, what should they, do? What are the actionable steps that they need to take? Like, do they need a master's in bioinformatics? Do they need to start applying for different institutions? And then the second question is, we are in the age of AI. Do you see this changing or renovating, or how should people sort of handle this in terms of their work?
Very good questions. So for young and upcoming researchers and those who aspire to go into bioinformatics, I think we need to increase the number of postgraduate programs in bioinformatics across Africa,
Okay.
because that will be very important. So as I said, for the wet lab, you can come from like any direction and you can still do the wet lab.
Yeah.
As long as you're able to do pipetting, you
Yeah.
just need some level of training.
Yes, sir.
But for the bioinformatics, I think we need to increase core bioinformatics focused programs
Yeah.
in which coding programming is integrated.
Yes, sir.
And then work on actual projects and go on work on actual data sets. And combining those will be quite important. So
Right.
I think beginning from testing your skills and interest in some level of data sets and also exploring online short-term trainings. But I think the major foundation would be those kinds of programs, concrete programs, and also personal motivation, because it requires kind of dedication in bioinformatics specifically.
Putting the work to learn the code.
So you have to learn the codes and also train yourself and know as much as possible.
Right.
So that will be very important. So you need to be very passionate about it and going that way. And
The AI.
the AI is actually quite. It's fascinating how things have changed as a result of AI, and I think it will be important. In some ways, it might be misleading. So some people will 100% might be dependent on AI, but I think what will be important is building those foundational skills in which people are able to do programming and coding, and then combine that with AI and use the power of AI in order to uplift and to increase, to strengthen what you can do with genomic data and the opportunities and what you can do with that is really quite immense. So I think combining that and not missing like the foundational skills and simply depending on AI, but using AI to assist you and to increase the amount of data that you can process, analyze, model and link, and the amount of data sets that you can combine and bring together in order to do prediction and analysis is quite important. So quite really exciting. So trying to combine, we should not miss like the basic and foundational skills, but try to make use of AI on the other hand. Not necessarily 100% depend on it, but it's helping many researchers with a small level of training in bioinformatics.
Yes, sir.
If you're able to navigate through AI properly, then you can have like the codes generated for you, but you still have to manipulate them and so on. So in order to do that, you need to have like the basic skill sets. Combining them gives you very good results.
No, I think what you said is 100%. We need to incorporate basic foundational bioinformatics knowledge, but also people need to start using prompts to generate AI for them to be able to quickly and replace those repetitive tasks with AI work. But yeah, no, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Absolutely.
Thanks.